Hello guys, welcome to Egypt in 5 minutes. 1954, we found a wonderful boat next to the Great Pyramid. It was buried for almost 4,500 years. By accident we found it, and we believe until now that it is the solar boat which will move the king from this life to the afterlife. The boat is a miracle, and this is because we found it in a very good condition. However, it's really old. Now, to know more about the boat, you have to listen up, and we go. This time I'm going to talk about something that you cannot see behind me. 1954, by accident, we found one of the greatest treasures ever found on Giza Plateau. This treasure is not a pyramid, it's not a tomb, it's not even a mummy or anything like that. It was a boat, believe it or not. In 1954, by accident, people are digging just to clean the area here, and then by accident we found more than 1,200 pieces mixed up together in a pit. And then when we put them together, we created a boat. Now the question is, why the ancient Egyptians need to have a boat next to the pyramid? This is because the ancient Egyptians, believe it or not, did not have camels. Camel is one of the animals that it is not Egyptian. We think the Romans brought camels to Egypt. Maybe they got it from Mongolia. So in ancient Egypt, we know that the Egyptian had all kinds of animals you can imagine, except for camels. That is why if you want to move in ancient Egypt, you had to move by boats. They thought also the Pharaoh will need his own boat to go to this journey, that it will take him from this life to the afterlife with gods. And that is why it was very important for any Pharaoh to have his own boat. And it was a big shock for us when we found the pieces that made out of wood from cedar wood. We found them in very good condition until 1954. We built the boat, and it took us almost 10 years to do that. And in the past, we used to have a museum very close from the Great Pyramid, because the boat was found behind the Great Pyramid. And it belongs to King Khufu, the owner of the pyramid himself. And we believe they put it next to the pyramid, so when the resurrection happened, the king will take his own boat and he will join the god to the afterlife. Now, however, it took us a lot of years to build the boat, but after we finished it, it was like one of the miracles. I myself used to call it the fourth pyramid. Think about it. It's all built out of cedar wood, that it is not Egyptian. They got it from another country, Lebanon. And then they build it, and then they bury it underneath, one of the shafts or one of the big pits. And then it was lost in history for more than 4,000 years until we found it in very good condition. If you are new to my channel, please like this video and don't forget to subscribe so you can see everything new in the next time. The boat itself, we think, did not sail. We think it was made just to be a funeral boat. This is because one of the crazy things we found on the boat, the big cabin of the Pharaoh did not have any doors or windows. And it doesn't make sense why they make kind of a cabin for the Pharaoh that looks like a prison. We think because when the king dies, they're gonna bring his body on that boat and then they will bury it next to him. Another thing is interesting too, when we made a model from that boat and we put it in a water tank, we noticed that these kind of boat never sailed before. And I think it makes sense because we think this boat was tugboat. So when the king dies, he put his body in this cabin, in a coffin, and then they bring this boat and his body from wherever he lives by the water to come to Giza Plateau. And believe it or not, on Giza Plateau as well, we found the marina for the River Nile. So the water used to come down to here. And that's why boats all over Egypt, when the Egyptians were still alive, when they think also they will have another life after death, they believe the boats are very important. And one of the crazy things, by the way, that this pit was very important, that they had to cover it by big blocks. And behind me, you can see the blocks. We found about 40 blocks to cover this pit. Each one was about 18 tons. So as I always say, this boat was very important. That when they finished it, they had to cover it by almost 800 tons of stones, just to make sure that the boat would be safe until the king has his own resurrection and then goes to the next life by the boat safely. If you enjoyed the video, please check out the other videos. You will love it.